Somebody drank my Coke. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? It's the one anti-hero here, coming at you with a discussion video in a sense of today. And as the title says, do you need money to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Now, this qualifies a lot of factors into consideration. I look at players. There's four type of players in the Yu-Gi-Oh game. There's the players that play once every year or so, just to reminisce with their friends of the good times, which I have a few friends like that, and hey, it's always a good time. Then there's the casual player. They just, come to card shops, they play, but they don't really like playing in tournaments, or if they do, they're not serious about it, and they make a bunch of fun decks, but nothing really competitive. Then, there's the semi-competitive player. Likes to play in all the tournaments, all the local tournaments, they're pretty serious when they play, but they don't usually go to regionals or YCSs either because they don't like that big scenery, they can't afford it, the travel, there's none close, things of that nature. And then of course there's a competitive player who goes to almost all the locals, goes to all the regionals, all the YCSs, Nats, Worlds, wherever they can, and they enjoy that kind of thing. Well, depending on the grade, it depends how much money you need to play this game. If you're one of those people that reminisce once every year or so, you don't really need any money. If you're invested in a deck back in 2003, and you got a Blue Eyes starter deck, and you just like playing just because, or if you have friends that still play and you reminisce once a year or so, they'll give you a deck to play with. It costs you nothing, just a good time. Which is, it's cool for some people. And then, I'm sorry, I just had a brain freeze, but the casual player. Now, they make fun decks, so it could cost a little bit of money because they usually get bored with decks. Just like to play for fun, but they don't spend too much money, so they'll buy a pack here and there or trade with friends, or all their friends just trade decks all the time and just go crazy. You don't really need much money to do that either. And the semi-competitive player, you need a little bit of money depending on what you want to run and how competitive you want to be. Now, right now, unfortunately, we live in a format where the top two decks are quite expensive. And that's unfortunate right now, but really the top two decks could range you from anywhere from $300-400 to $700, which is absurd, let's be honest, but it will get you tournament wins, it will get you wins, it'll make you, be feared, I guess, by the casual player and little player in a sense, but it will cost you a pretty penny. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to spend that much money. Even a competitive player, I consider myself a pretty competitive player. I try to go to events when I can, and I almost attend all the local tournaments, but I don't spend that much money on this game, and I do win a pretty good amount of time. And I'll tell you why. You can play the top tier decks, and don't get me wrong, they're great decks. I mean, obviously they're winning. Dragons won Nationals, and the whole Nationals everywhere was filled with Prophecy and Dragons. And chances are that the Worlds will be won by Dragons or Prophecy. Now, what you may not know, a lot of people do know, but some people don't know that in top 32, there was a Madolche deck. Relatively cheap deck. You probably made the deck for 150 or less. And there's always those random decks at top. I mean, you don't really have to, play the best top tier decks to win games. If you're just a good player, if you have a deck that goes against the format, for example, Evil Swarms are a meta deck, but they are fairly cheap. I think the most expensive card in that deck is like Kirkion, and I would recommend playing Safe Zones, but that's just me. And that card can run you a pretty penny. But I mean, like I said, you don't have to spend that much money in this game. If you spend $200 on a deck that you love, and you just play all the time, and you win here and there, or you win a lot, that's a good time. You can even go to regionals and top with the most random decks. It happens. And hey, look at me, I'm running Thunder Family right now. You think anyone knows what that deck is? Not many people do, or if they do know, they just hear about it, but they don't really, see it. They don't see it as the deck option, but I think it's a wonderful deck, and I like playing it. know, a few friends that play a bunch of different decks, heroes, 6Ams, you know, everything. And, you know, some are really competitive and some aren't. You know, it really depends on the format. And the format will be changing in a couple of months, so anything's possible. But, yeah, I just wanted to say, to get this across, you don't need that much money to play this game, depending on where you are competitive-wise. If you want to be super competitive and play with the best deck all the time, yes, it's going to run you some money. But if you don't have to play the best deck, hey, you can get away for $200 or less. Not bad for hours of fun, you know what I mean? But, yeah, that's the end of this video. But I do want to say I accidentally deleted the duel videos of my friend Tony with his Lavels against my friend Rob with his Title Mermails. But I do have a match that I won't delete on accident of my friends Armani and Chris, who are both part of my team, These Nuts, and more recently the Six. But they had a good match because well, you'll see. Armani, he was playing his Laval deck, Laval Quasar deck, and Chris was playing Lightsworns. So check that out, and I will record Rob's and Tony's again. It'll be, you know, a different match than I recorded, but I will get it for you guys. So that's all I got for tonight. Thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate it. And this is the One Anti-Hero checking out.